very good afternoon to one and all. This is Dr. Pranay Dute, and today we are going to discuss the concept of properties of the mineral, different properties of the mineral. So, mineral is nothing but mineral is nothing but a naturally occurring homogeneous substance, which having a definite chemical composition and definite atomic structure. This is a classical definition of your mineral. So there is a different color, also different physical properties of the mineral. Now, what is the physical properties of the mineral? Likewise, whatever things you are on earth, so you have some specific properties to identify that things. Like for mankind, you know that how the man is looks like, what is the color of man, how their shape is, will be look like. So this is the different properties on the basis of what you can identify the mineral, identify the man. So this is a man and all. Likewise, likewise you have different properties for the likewise you have different properties for the mineral also. Like what you have for the man, you have different properties for the mineral also. So how you identify the mineral? So mineral is formed in the earth during the process of the lava formation, and all also the secondary mineral is also formed. Then you have also the mineral is formed during the metamorphism process also. So this is a different kind of mineral you have. So first property is the color. So how the color is looks like. So color is a very that important properties. Like you can have the color is nothing but the appearance in which result from the way the light is absorbed. Color is color is the appearance which result colors is the appearance which result from the way the light is absorbed. So color is one of the important property. Means what is the color of that substance? What is the color of that substance? That is defined as the your color property. That is a first property we study always. So then second is the luster. Luster is the appearance in which result from the way light reflected. So when you have a mineral and that reflected from this one, when you have mineral and that will be reflected from the other source, that is known as your luster. Then you have a color in the mineral. Then you have a color in the mineral. So material absorbs some color and rest is reflected. Material is absorb some color and rest is reflected. That is the color of that color is depending upon the absorption and reflection phenomena. Then you have a generalization. What is the generalization? Generalization is Al, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and barium. This is a different kind of elements you have. They are generally a colorless and light in color. So, what kind of elements that is present in your rock? What kind of element which is present in your mineral is depend or it will be shown that how the your rocks and mineral will be looks like. If there is a more percentage of Fe, Cr, that Mn, so that is a iron, chromium, magnesium, cobalt, nickel, titanium, and this one is having a dark color always. This one is having a dark color always. Unfortunately, for purpose of identification, color of mineral vary very greatly. Unfortunately, for purpose of identification, color of mineral vary very greatly. That is the quartz is a single mineral. Quartz is a single mineral, but having a different kind of colors in it. Quartz is a single mineral, but having a different color in it. Then you have olivine. So, what is the olivine? Olivine is olivine is divalent iron that gives the green color to the olivine. So olivine is a divalent iron which gives the green color to the olivine. Then you have almandine, that is a trivalent iron, gives the color to the almandine, that is white, which looks like a flesh red color. Then you have a diamond and graphite. Then you have a diamond and graphite, different type of bonding responsible for the different color. Different type of bonding responsible for the different color. Then you have fluorite. Then you have fluorite, which showing the purple color appear due to the Frankel defect caused by the dislocation of iron. Then you have alchromatic mineral. Then you have alchromatic mineral. So you have orthoclase. Okay, you have orthoclase, which is Fe impurity will give the orthoclase red color. Fe impurity will give the orthoclase red color. Then you have milky quartz. Then you have milky quartz, which is nothing but the air bubble which cause the milky appearance of this quartz. Then you have a amethyst also. Then you have a very beautiful color because of the impurities. That impurity is Fe impurity, which give the violet color. Fe impurity is what? Then you have what is the uses of mineral color? What is the uses of mineral color? So, so uses of color is generally when you have color is maybe sometime used to identify the mineral. Like in the first picture, you can see that when is the color of a orthoclase feldspar, which is present in a granite. The orthoclase feldspar, which is present in the granite, is also a very identical property for this color. Then you have equant. Then you have equant. So equant is a gar. Equant is the same dimension in all direction. Equant means the same dimension in all same dimension in all direction. Then you have a blocky. Blocky is a equant crystal with square cross section. Then you have acicular mineral with a needle-like shape. Acicular is a mineral which is needle-like shape. Then you have tabular or platy. Tabular or platy. Then you have a capillary or a filiform. Capillary or a filiform. Then you have bladed. Then you have a columnar. So this is the different forms and forms of the mineral. This is nothing but a different forms of the mineral. So you have a columnar. Then you have foliated or micaceous minerals. Then you have massive mineral, that is a total lack of crystal faces in this mineral. Then you have granular mineral, radiating or divergent, fibrous. So this is the different forms of the mineral. Then you have a stalactitic mineral. So you have a different type of stalactite and stalagmite. Stalagmite is at the bottom, stalactite always on the top. So this is one of the another form of the limestone. Then you have a form like in a graphite, it shows the specific made of the layer. So different layer it is made up of. Then you have a dendritic or arborescent mineral. Then you have botryoidal like your this is a botanical like structure like. Then you have running form, that is a kidney shaped structure. This is a bunch of grapes. It looks like a bunch of grapes. So this is a different structure or different habits which is shown by the mineral. This is a different habits which is shown by the mineral. Then you have compact. How the compact will looks like? How the compact will looks like? So compact means so fine grain that individual grain are not visible to human eye. Not Compact is a so fine grain that is individual grains which are not visible to human eye. Then you have banded formation. So banded formation is an alternate mineral banding. Okay, mineral that is showing the banding patterns. Then you have concentric. Concentric is a banded arranged concentratory about one or more centers. Then you have a geode. What is the geode? Geode is a rock cavity lined with the mineral matter but not completely filled. Then you have ulitic mineral. So ulitic is made up of acceleratory bodies. That is your ulitic mineral. Psilotic or elliptical. So made up of pea-sized grains. So then you have cleavage as a property. Cleavage is when a mineral break in a smooth and planar surface. Cleavage is when a mineral break in a smooth and planar surface. The mineral is said to have a cleavage. Set of cleavage planes are a set of surface of weak chemical bonding between parallel layer of atom in the mineral. Then you have cleavage direction. Each different set of parallel cleavage planes has been oriented related to the crystalline structure called a cleavage direction. Then we have classification of cleavage. So cleavage is a different type of cleavage. We have cleavage in a zero direction, that is a quartz. Cleavage in one direction, that is a muscovite. Cleavage in two direction, that is a feldspar. Cleavage in two direction, that is a amphibolt. So this is a different classification of cleavage we have. Then you have a cleavage in three direction, that is a halite. It's an example. Cleavage in the three direction, the calcite is also example. Four direction is your fluorite. Six direction is a sphalerite. So this is a different example of how the direction has been changed. Then you have property like parting. So the phenomena which take to place like a cleavage, but it is due to the crystallographic imperfection like twin planes. Fracture is a mineral that is equally strong in all directions, break in a irregular surface known as a fracture. Then you have a type of fracture that is even, uneven, hackly, splintery, and fibrous and conchoidal. So this is a different type of fracture we have. Then you have the chart is the fracture surface which is nearly a flat shape. Then you have uneven, that is a fracture surface which is rough or uneven. Then you have hackly, that is a native copper. Then you have splintery surface showing sharp fragment. Then you have fibrous, that is a fracture surface shown by the fibrous material. Then you have conchoidal. So this is a different kind of material we have. So what is the significance of conchoidal fracture? So then you have a luster. So different type of luster we have. Luster is nothing but the appearance of in which result from way light is reflected. Appearance which result from way light is reflected, that is your luster. So there is a different kind of luster we have. Metallic luster. Okay, metallic luster. Gold is a shiny on a clean surface, that is showing the metallic luster. Then magnesite is a shiny on a clean surface and dull on a weathered side. Then you have metallic luster like real metallic luster of galena. Then metallic luster is chromite is also showing the metal. So this is a different luster is showing by the different rocks. Then you have a vitreous luster. So you have a quartz which has been luster of broken glasses. Okay, you have a quartz which having a broken quartz which having the luster of broken glasses. Then you have a resinous luster. Okay, then you have a resinous luster which is warm luster and showing us some transparency by the umber. Then you have a silky luster which is a fibrous aggregate of asbestos, adamantine luster, waxy luster, earthy luster, and waxy luster. So this is different type of luster you have. What is the uses of luster? So this is a different uses of luster. Then you have a hardness of the mineral. When you have a hardness of the mineral, hardness is nothing but a resistance of mineral. Hardness is nothing but a mineral. So hardness in a mineral is mainly controlled by the strength of the bonding between the atom and partly by the composition of side of the atom. So we have a Mohs scale of hardness which is given by the Professor Friedrich Moe. So what is the Friedrich Moe? Friedrich Moe is a scientist who given this Mohs scale of hardness. Who given the Mohs scale of hardness. So what which mineral is on a first number? That is a talc. The mineral which is on a first number is a talc. The mineral which is on a second number is a gypsum. Mineral on a third number is a calcite. Then a mineral on a fourth number is a fluorite. Mineral on a fifth number is apatite. Then on a sixth number is a feldspar, quartz, topaz, corundum, and diamond. So this is a 10 mineral we have. So talc is a what we can say the mineral which scratches easily by the nail or something like that. And gypsum is a little bit tougher, but it also scratch by nail. Then you have calcite, which is tough to scratch by nail. You need a knife and all. Then you have fluoride. So up to that, you know that diamond is a toughest mineral. Also used as a core drill core bit in many of the minerals. Then you have sclerometer. Then you have sclerometer. Sclerometer is an instrument for determining the absolute hardness by mean of scratch with the diamond pyramid. Sclerometer is an instrument for determining the absolute hardness by mean of the scratch with diamond pyramid. Hardness of the mineral related to its weakest bond. Hardness of the mineral related to its weakest bond. So graphite hardness is 1.5, diamond hardness is 10. So this is a two different diamond minerals we have. So hardness is varies in all direction. Like calcite is showing the 2 and 3, then calcite is showing the 2 and 3. So the depending upon the direction of this your mineral, so the most hydrous mineral is having a hardness more than 5. The most hydrous mineral in the earth having the hardness more than 5. Halides, carbonate, phosphate, sulfide, all is having a more than 5 hardness. Then you have a most sulfide except pyrite is having a hardness less than 5. Okay, so this is a relationship between hardness and this one. Then identification of hardness in a mineral. How you can identify the minerals? So you can use the fingernail. So up to 2.5 scale, on a scale up to 2.5, the mineral is showing the hardness that is a of fingernail. That is a fingernail. Then you have a coin. Coin can be used to determine the hardness up to 3.5. Then you have a steel knife. Sorry, you have a iron nail that will be scratches up to 5.5 mineral. Then you have steel knife, which is shown the hardness up to the 6.5. Then you have emirati board that will show the 9 point up to 9.5. So this is a hardness box. This is a hardness box where you have 10 minerals in your hardness box. sorry, 9 mineral, maybe the diamond will be missing out as the price is very much. Then you have property like of specific gravity. Then the property you have. So specific gravity is a ratio of weight of a mineral. Specific gravity is a ratio of weight of mineral to the weight of water of the same volume. Ratio of weight of mineral to the weight of water of the same volume. Then you have factor which affecting the specific gravity, the atomic weight of the constituent element, the way atom are packed in the crystal structure. So you have barytes, anglesite, and quartz and coesite and stishovite. So this is the different minerals you have. So instrument for finding the specific gravity, we use a different instrument like Walker steel yard, Jolly spring balance, and heavy liquid. So this is a different instrument we will use for the purpose. Then you have variation in specific gravity. Then you have variation in specific gravity. So graphite is 2.1. The proper specific gravity of graphite is a 2.1. FeS2 is having a specific gravity of 5.0. Quartz is having a specific gravity 2.6. Galena is having a specific gravity 7.6. Calcite is having a specific gravity of 2.7. Silver is having a specific gravity of 10.3. Barytes is having a specific gravity 4.5. And gold is having a specific gravity 17.2. So this is a different specific gravity of the mineral which we have. So barytes is also used in a white paints. Barytes is also used in a white paints, paper industry, wallpaper. Barytes also found its maximum use as a drilling mud. Placer gold is a nuggets that is collected from the placer gold deposit. Then you have a property like magnetism. Then you have property like magnetism. So magnetism is a mineral that containing the iron which are generally magnetic but not necessarily. So magnetism in mineral is some of the mineral are very highly magnetic, some are moderately magnetic, some are non-magnetic. So magnetism is what we can say. Magnetism is defined by the what kind of magnetism in the your minerals are. What whether it is a paramagnetic, ferromagnetic, ferrimagnetic, and also different type of magnetism we possess. What is the paleomagnetism? What is the paleomagnetism? A paleomagnetism means a magnetism. Paleo means past magnetism. So when you have Earth rotated, you have a geographic north as well as you have a magnetic north. In addition to geographic north, you have a magnetic north. So that magnetism is showing the relationship. So your inclination between the magnetic and geographic north are always a 23.5, something like that. So your minerals and your material which deposited is always on a always in a this magnetic north, means magnetic this one, what we can say, what we can say, the magnetic on a magnetic north. So according to magnetic north, your mineral is deposited. Okay, according to your magnetic north, your mineral is deposited. Then you have polymorphism. Then you have polymorphism. So occurrences of an element or compound in one in more than one crystallographic structure. Occurrences of element or compound in more than one crystallographic structure is known as the polymorphism. Each polymorph has its own physical properties. Each polymorph has its own physical properties and a distinct arrangement of its atom. They are formed under the different condition of pressure and temperature. Then you have dimorphism. What is the dimorphism? Showing the hexagonal graphite and hexagonal structure and diamond. So this is a different kind of structure which showing by the graphite. So carbon, so both are the carbon, okay, both are the carbon, but but the structure, crystal structure is different also. That's why it is called as a dimorphism. Whereas what is the polymorphism? Polymorphism is when the occurrence of the element or compound in more than one crystallographic structure. Occurrences of an element or compound in more than one crystallographic structure, that is known as the polymorphism. Each polymorph has its own physical properties. Each polymorph has its own physical properties and distinct arrangement of its atom. They are formed under the different condition of pressure and temperature. Then the concept of dimorphism is exactly opposite to the polymorphism. Polymorphism is having a same crystal structure but having a different chemical composition. That is a polymorph. Dimorph is having the same chemical composition but different structure. Different structure. That is, the carbon is having a purest carbon form. You have a hexagonal structure that is known as the graphite. You have a cubic structure that is known as the diamond. Then you have pyrite. So cubic structure of the pyrite is known as the uh, cubic structure of Fe2 is known as the cubic structure is known as the pyrite for the FeSO4, Fes2, and this one merasite. Then you have CaCO3. Then you have CaCO3, that is a calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate, when the structure is a hexagonal, so that is known as calcite. If the structure is a orthorhombic, that is known as aragonite. Then trimorphism. What is the trimorphism? Trimorphism is rutile and so when you have a three different type of different structure for the same mineral, that is known as the then you have a polymorphs of quartz. So you have a different polymorphs of quartz like stishovite, coesite, low quartz, high quartz, low tridymite, high tridymite. So this is a different polymorphs of quartz. Means formula is SiO2, but different kind of structure you can possess. Then the different next property is the pseudomorphism. What is the pseudomorphism? The existence of mineral with the outward crystal form of another mineral species. The existence of mineral with the outward crystal form of another mineral species, that is known as the pseudomorphism. The chemical composition and structure. The chemical composition and structure belong to one mineral species, whereas crystal form belong to the another. Then you have substitution. Substitution is a gradual substitution of particle of new mineral. Gradual substitution of particle of new mineral in a place of old one. That is known as a substitution. Then you have incrustation. So deposition of coating of one mineral. On the crystal of another, that is known as incrustation. Then you have alteration. What is the alteration? The gradual chemical change which alter the composition but retain old form is known as the alteration. Then you have mineral properties based on the heat, electricity, and radioactivity. So what is the heat? Specific heat is the amount of heat that required to raise the temperature of 1 kg substance by 1. That is the specific heat. Then you have a thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity is the ratio of temperature difference between the per unit thickness of mineral. Then you have a thermal diffusivity. Then you have a thermal diffusivity, measure of the velocity of heat flow in a material, that is known as the thermal diffusivity. Then you have thermal inertia. Then you have a inertia. Measure of thermal inertia is a measure of how quickly the surface temperature of material can be changed by a flow of heat into the material. Then you have fusibility. So fusibility is a measure of how much heat it takes to melt sharp edge of the mineral and round one. So this is about the different minerals. So whenever you have a mineral, you require some of the properties to identify those minerals. What can you have this different kind of minerals. So different minerals, like you have a 9,000 something minerals and so on. So each mineral is not important. You can only concentrate mostly on the a specific mineral. Like you have a quartz, okay, you have a feldspar, you have a quartz, you have a feldspar, you have olivine, okay, you have olivine, then mica. So this is some of the important this is an important part of the important minerals which we can important which we have the different kind of prop minerals we have. So all this property, not the only property can be used to identify the mineral. More than one property is used, like color. The quartz is showing the different color. Like you have a amethyst showing a different color, rosy quartz showing different color. Different minerals is showing the different color. Whereas the different kind of things like minerals, okay, you have a different mineral like. You have a different mineral like what quartz you have, the feldspar you have, and also this different kind of minerals which we have is definitely you have to identify those minerals on the basis of what, on the basis of different property, like the cleavage of some of the mineral is having. So cleavage is a property of feldspar, like that. Okay. Sometimes you have a amethyst showing the different color, that is the property for this one. Sometimes, so this is how you can use the different minerals. You can have a different properties for this one. So most scale of hardness is also so different minerals is means like the toughest mineral is known as the diamond. Okay, toughest mineral is known as the diamond. So diamond. So many times this question is also asked in the question that about the Mohs scale of hardness, and also this one also, what we can say, the in the interview also about the Mohs scale of hardness. So you have a tar, gypsum, calcite, fluorite, apatite, feldspar, quartz, topaz, corundum, diamond. So this is a 10 mineral we have, invariability 10 minerals we have, and this 10 mineral is defined as the different minerals which we can have. So you have a graphite, you have a diamond. Okay, you have a graphite, you have a diamond, and the the hardness of the graphite and hardness of the diamond is different, having a same chemical composition but having a different structure. So structure will define the your what kind of minerals, what is the hardness you have, what kind of hardness you have, that will be defined by the hardness of the mineral. So then you have a different kind of hardness varies in a direction. Okay, so how you can use the hardness as also, you have a hardness scale, hardness box. So always the upper side of the mineral which always scratches to the lower side of mineral. So this is a different kind of properties of the mineral which we use for the purpose of the identification of the rock, and all this mineral is knowing to be have a different kind of things. So thank you for listening this lecture. Hope you understand what is the how the mineral properties can be used, and how the different minerals can be used for the purpose of this one. So thank you all for listening. If you have any question, you can ask the uh, LMS. You have a 10 MCQ question in LMS, you can go and solve. Thank you for